trying to create the illusion of motion. That's why the animal had like 6 legs, trying to show that. See the way you're doing frame by frame, you're able to watch.
Yes.
So then they are drawing a frame on top of another. So trying to show that the animal is walking.
Okay. So it's not necessarily that all art can be considered animation.
No.
It's just trying to show motion.
Exactly. The illusion of motion. That's why it's animation. Is actually the illusion of motion.
Yeah. Okay. Now that we're here, what's the definition of the word animation itself? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to This is ADMI, and we are back with another masterclass. This is going to be, of course, an introductory level to animation because I don't understand that kind of witchcraft. But I'm hoping at the end of this, we will finally figure out what rituals these people actually do. This is where your passion becomes a profession, where creativity finds direction. This is ADMI, and I am your host, John Lasseter. So, Benjamin, karibu sana.
Oh, thank you.
So like we had discussed before, this is just going to be a very introductory level to, or introductory lesson to animation. So assuming this was your first class, what would we expect? What would we do? Where do we go from here?
Well, for Aleman. Well, it's...
no need to emphasize.
It's about understanding what animation is. Getting to know what it is and what it is not. Getting to understand that we've been animating for a very long time. Just a brief background on how far we've come from the beginnings of where animation started showing itself up to now. Okay, and majorly we'd start with go back all the way to the cave paintings.
Interesting.
Yeah. So from the cave paintings, you'd see they had drawn animals with like 6 legs and all that, trying to depict motion. Trying to depict motion. All the way back then. I don't know how many years that is. And then we come all the way to the Egyptian murals, which had sequential storytelling, and also the Greek pottery, which also had some sequential kind of storytelling. So animation has been around for quite a while, until we come all the way to the Chinese, Indians, Indonesia, India as well, puppetry, okay, where they use screens and puppetry over there. And then we come all the way now to where now we have cell animation, and that is after now that this is the time film and photography is coming to its own. Okay, that is where now we started seeing all this cell animation, frame by frame animation, where you draw one frame, then you draw another, and then you have like a flip book, you know, combining the flip book over there. That now brought us all the way now to the age of 2D animation. The first successful one among the first, there are very many. There's one called Gracia the Dinosaur. Okay, that's one of the first successful ones. Then we come all the way to Willy and the Steamboat. That is where sound and animation came together. That is Mickey Mouse on a steamboat. That is usually very iconic.
I remember, I know it. Yeah.
And then we come all the way to the technological side of it when computers now came in, and now people are able to do proper graphics. I mean, 3D came into its own. John Lasseter, Ed Catmull, those people coming together, a physicist and an artist coming together to create a software that would mimic the 12 principles of animation into a 3D-dimensional image that had depth. Okay. By then, Disney had really created a lot of foundation when it comes to animation, and they had reached a point where they were even creating what we call multi-plane look. Dimension look, where it almost looked 3D, but it's not 3D. Then now 3D came in. That is just after Tron, the first original Tron movie came out. That's when in the Disney studios they went to showcase what computers could do. And John Lasseter was there, and he was wondering, why don't we use computers to create animations and things like that. Well, it was one of those times whereby short long of it, he got fired for insinuating that computers could. There was a whole thing at the time.
So, okay, a few questions.
Yes, please ask.
I don't know whether to shoot them all together or my memory will betray me. Let me just ask this because it's directly related. Kwani, what were they animating with before?
Hand drawn,
So
by
they-
hand.
And
Yes.
then they,
using light tables and all like that. Yes.
Okay, so they were drawing on a special thingy that could like record the drawings. I thought it's maybe they're drawing on a paper and then recording it.
Exactly, on a paper. Yes.
On a paper?
On a paper, and with the light coming from below, so they could draw on one frame. You know, one hand is here.
Yes.
Then you put
and
one
then
on top,
that,
you draw another one.
Oh my god.
Like that.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it's frame by frame, picture by
The
picture.
picture.
Okay.
No wonder it took forever.
Yeah. Because if you want to draw my hand coming from here to
Yes.
here, you have to draw several, like maybe 12. You know? Then once you play it back,
Yes,
it shows
exactly.
that
Yeah.
motion.
I have dabbled in, in my delusion era, I don't think there's nothing I've not tried. I've tried producing music, I've tried animation, and there were those apps, and then they tell you, like they'd give you several frames. So in the layout, it's like, maybe let's say, you see how you prepare a presentation on Canva.
Yes.
So it has like several slides. So
Yes.
you'd draw from here to here. So I understand that frame by frame concept, and I've also seen how flipbooks work, but I never understood how tasking animation was before computers.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it still is, but still is. But it has gotten better.
My next question would be, where would you present? Because you started with cave paintings.
Yeah.
We know them as paintings. How is that animation?
How's that animation? Trying to create the illusion of motion.
Uh-huh.
That's why the animal had like 6 legs,
6
trying
legs.
to show that.
They-
See the
it's
way you're doing
walking.
frame by frame, you're able to watch.
Yes.
So them, they are drawing a frame on top of another. So trying to show that,
That
the
it
animal
was
is walking.
walking. Okay. So it's not necessarily that all art can be considered animation.
No.
It's just trying to show motion.
Exactly. The illusion of motion. That's why it's animation. Is actually the illusion
Vision
of motion. Yeah.
Okay. Now that we're here, what's the definition of the word animation itself?
Illusion of motion.
Interesting.
Just creating motion. So, and actually not really creating motion, just creating the illusion
of it.
that there is motion.
Yeah. Okay, so John Lasseter gets fired for...
Yeah, insinuating all that. And then they go to Lucasfilm, Star Wars, Lucasfilm, Star Wars. They were still coming up with different, Star Wars was breaking the bounds in terms of how you do computer and CG. So because Ed Catmull was working there, they called John Lasseter. They were in some kind of a conference in the Queen Mary, and they were talking about all these things that were happening in the industry at the time. So John Lasseter was working on something called Brave Little Toaster, and he was supposed to do a 3D version of it. And when he said the budgets are going to be the same in terms of 2D and 3D, that's when he was fired. The studio just didn't understand how that was working. That was in the 70s. Coming towards the 80s over here, that's where they met with with Ed Catmull. Ed Catmull, they could create the softwares, but they couldn't animate. So they wanted to get their hands on an animator. So here was John Lasseter, 3. So so that's how they picked him. They went to Lucasfilms. They tried a few things here and there, but they really wanted to create an animation of their own. They even created some machines for animation. They didn't have the funds until George Lucas introduced them to a young budding entrepreneur called Steve Jobs, who sank in about $10 million on an idea that had never been done before.
Wow.
And long short of it, that's how come Toy Story came out.
No! It's interesting. I'm realizing I know animation as a consumer. Yeah, like from a consumer's perspective.
So that's when they decided we need a name for our studio. They called it Pixar, and John Lasseter was seated there next to a machine and wondering what do we do, and he was playing with a Laxo lamp. And he said, this could be our logo. And that's how come the Laxo lamp,
Pixar thingy. Oh my God.
Came out. And
Toy Story was really, really good though, because it's interesting. You said that, you've mentioned that this was the 70s. I didn't know 3D animation to be that old. So is their first product of 3D animation Pixar, or they had done some things before?
They had done a few other small ones before, including adverts. But Toy Story was the one that really it grossed more than anything in the box office before when it came out. It had actually almost been shut down several times.
Wow.
It had been shut down. Nobody used to understand what they were doing and all that. They only had one machine. sleeping under the desk, waking up. John Lasseter had the best parking spot because the car had not left there for months. But they worked on it, and once it came out, now it was clear that animation was there. And at the time, there was an issue because studios started closing down their 2D divisions, and then they were blaming it on 3D. Which was wrong, because everybody wants to watch a good 2D animation. It's part of the story. But they used that as an excuse to try. They were throwing off artists, saying 3Ds they were thinking, and it was a dark time. But after that, things kind of picked up, and the animation industry kind of just ballooned.
I love this.
From there.
I love this, but to a certain degree, it still feels very far, because even as that is happening in the timelines you're giving me, I'm trying to compare them with our home, which is Kenya, and trying to see how that fits in. So I think my next question now is animation in Kenya, the history and where we are at.
Well, Kenya has really come a long way. There was an advert back in the 90s of, I think there was a bank, it's on his ATM dancing. That was the first time we totally saw something local. Happening around. Then from there things went a bit quiet until the fiber ads by Mike Waithaka. That's when people started saying, so this thing can actually be done. So that's where it started. Okay. Currently is where we're even having an association. It's not very old, an animation association in Kenya. And I think we are having some really good things ahead of us, because we are getting some really good artists coming on board. So 3D animation in Kenya is not very old. It's not very old.
But I'm not even thinking about 3D animation. I'm thinking about
just animation in general. It could be generally, let's say, around 20 years or so.
Wow. Yes.
20 years or less.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so I think now that we have the history down, we're ready to dive into the conversation, which we will do right after this break. This is where your passion becomes a profession, where creativity finds direction. This is ADMI, and I'm your host, John Lasseter. Nasiringi.